Are resolutions good or bad? Are they good or bad to have? Like, are goals and resolutions good or bad to have?
I think for me, it depends on the intent behind that resolution.
Yeah, I think so too. Yes, buttons. Yes.
Buttons.
Buttons.
Like the mountain.
Yes. And like the color?
Orange.
That's right.
And bull and owl.
But I used to always say to Jeremy, I said, can you put your shirt, he's no ma'am. No ma'am. Those things in the background that are like big hills? No ma'am. All right. So resolutions are neutral, right? These goals, these plans that we have are neutral, right? They're only good if you actually try, but if no effort, right? If there's no inspired action, then no, negative, right? Not going to happen. They take on the energy and the belief behind them. So that's where a lot of people get stuck, right? It's our resolutions and goals. Are they good? Because they do take on the energy that's behind them. So do you set a goal and say, well, I'm going to do this, and then you say it sarcastically, and that's really your goal, but you very well know you're not willing to get off your ass to do anything to meet that goal. Like, it's going to be in that energy. Like, of course, it's not going to work.
Well, I need to, finish. Let me focus on finishing this, completing this. Then I can start that. But then in the process of completion, another opportunity presents itself, and distraction comes in, and the next thing you know, it's December. And you're like,
right. Thank you for the gift. It is excuses after excuses, and all of us with ADD or whatever, it really is excuses. And yes, it's a real excuse, right? It's a real excuse. However, we also know in the times when it's not like a valid excuse, we have times where we just put it off because we don't want to or whatever, right? It's not always a valid excuse. It's just not. So resolutions can become harmful when they're rooted in shame, they're motivated by comparison, they're meant to erase parts of you, or they ignore your nervous system, trauma, and reality. Okay, so that sounds like a lot of, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Things that you would do for other people, things that erase part of you because you feel like that part doesn't need to be seen. That's a lot of that. Resolutions built on I'm not enough, they will never feel sustainable. You will never, ever complete them. And if you do, you won't. You just won't. You just won't. Resolutions can be powerful, though, when they're rooted in self-trust, when they honor your capacity, when they're flexible, not rigid. They focus on direction, not punishment. If your resolution feels like a punishment, your body will rebel. It'll rebel against it.
Talk about that accent.
Yeah, rebel. Yeah. It'll rebel against it. So you literally won't do anything to achieve it, right? Because it feels like a punishment. And that's why sometimes, especially with like losing weight or things that you think that, okay, I really need to do this. If it feels like a punishment, you're not going to do it. If it feels like a good time, you're going to do it, right? It's like you'll make sure and not do the things that feel like punishment. So you have to find ways to appreciate and make these things not feel like a punishment. You also have to look and see if you're even doing it for the right reasons. Okay, because sometimes there's not a real good reason why you're doing it. So, self-sabotage, we're going to talk about. It is not self-hatred, it is self-protection. Okay, so when we say to you, self-sabotage, I say, Rebel, you're self-sabotaging. Kitty, you're self-sabotaging. It is not me coming at you out of a hatred, out of, oh, look at you little self-sabotager. You're so bad. It's not, because we all do it. That is the ultimate self-protection. You're protecting yourself. Okay.
And every time you come to me and said, like, you're self-sabotaging right now, and I'm like,
oh, shit.
Yeah, you're right. But I'm going to sit here a little longer, you know?
Yeah, it's because, I mean, and I do it too. Like, I have to question sometimes on that, like, okay, nope, that's exactly what this is. Because it's your nervous system saying, hey, something's different. Do you know if you do that, someone might not like you? Oh, do you know if you do that, it might not happen. You might not make it work, right? And you may not be thinking those words, but your subconscious is absolutely trying to protect you from things that are going to hurt you. And the reality is you're going to get hurt no matter what, if we're talking real talk. So you might as well do something that you really are proud of or that you really want to do. Okay, so
even if you don't attain it, you still can carry what I did for this amount of time, you know, like commit to it. And then I fell off the wagon.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's,
but it's you got to look at it in a different light on, you know, like I actually went for it instead of never taking that first step at all.
No, it's true. It's true. Your nervous system job is not happiness. It is familiarity and being safe. That is what your nervous system, that's what the whole system's created for. Okay. It is not there to celebrate when you've done something great. It's not there to celebrate when you're getting ready to step on stage and you're scared shitless. It is there to keep you protected and keep everything familiar. That's why those of us with anxiety or any kind of apprehension, when we step into something that's different and big, it feels terrifying because your nervous system is like, oh, you better go hide. You better go hide. Oh my God, look, they're looking at you, right? Ask me how I know. Right? Ask me how I know. Yeah, it does that. And so that's why with me, I don't like starting the podcast. I thought about it for like 5 seconds because I know the longer I think about it, the harder it is on me. And you can ask Rebel, like I do great on the pod. I do fine on them now, but beforehand, I do really good on the podcast that I don't get a chance to think about what I'm going to say or do. I just have to get on and it's rushed because I don't have that time to like worry and get my nervous system all pumped up. So, all right.
A lot of times you do it intuitively. You know what I mean? Like you just carry the conversation as it flows and where we go, you know?
Yeah. And then when it's planned, it's like, oh God, what if I don't, you know? Okay. So, sometimes pain becomes familiar. Sometimes struggle becomes your identity. And sometimes healing feels like loss. I'm going to touch on these real briefly and not go on my tangents, okay? But sometimes pain becomes familiar. This feels like home to a lot of us, right? If you grew up in a home that was broken, if you were around people, even as adults, young adults, whatever, those things can feel like home for a lot of people. Okay, that's reality. Sometimes your struggle becomes your identity. Bitches, even the guys, bitches. When your struggle becomes your identity, you do not know who you will be without it. So you're less likely to let go of it. If you've been hurt in the past and you refuse to forgive people, it is because your struggle has become your identity and you will not move forward because you don't know who the hell you'll be. Right? Because subconsciously we're worried, oh, what if that can't work? What if they don't like me? What if that? It is okay with you to sit back in the pain. I'm not saying like it's okay, like it's a good time. I'm just saying this is real talk on it. When your struggle becomes your identity, you're telling the story from being the victim. When you change it, you're telling the story to be empowered and let other people be empowered because you've made it through it. Those are the two sides of that coin. Your identity, your struggle is the identity, or your struggle is, I made it through, look, you can do it too. There's the two.
And you can have both, because within my story and the addiction portion, I was the victim. I was, that became my identity because what's always like this. It's never to change. I might as well because it never changes, this, that, and the other. But it can be turned around because now I'm seeing the other side of the coin on looking at those struggles and taking that pain and turning it into knowledge, and then therefore just talking about it, you know.
And there is a long journey. I say it's one or the other, but there's a long journey in between. So you can have parts of your story that you still feel like you were the victim of, but you can have this part that you've taken like into your own hands, and you're transmuting that into something different. So
that's also where that, coming back around to, something trauma you've already thought you processed, that comes into all of that as well during that time.
Yeah. Now, my nose is itching. Who's talking about me? Sometimes healing feels like loss. Do you want to talk about that, Rebel? Oh, God. Hey, Rebel. Sometimes healing feels like loss. How does that feel like loss? What does that even mean, Rebel?
So this whole year, I've learned that, you can grieve over the loss of people still living for yourself. Obviously the ones that are no longer here, but within that loss, it's eye-opening if you're willing to look at it. Because I know for me, like, one portion might have been my prior self on that victimization role, that identity. Like, who the fuck am I without that?
Yeah.
Like, where do I go from here? Like, what do I want? So then that opens up, well, I don't know what the fuck I want. And then once you start figuring out what you're working towards down that road, you start to, like we talk about, seeing the other person as a human, not as the role that they take into your life, but as just a human, a person with their own traumas, their own emotions, own triggers, just like me, and then realizing that role that I gave them and the expectations of that role may not be met.
Yeah.
It may be overcompensated. You know what I mean? To where it's a toxic and traumatic level. So it's way deeper than just losing a loved one physically.
Yeah, there's many forms of loss and grief.
Yeah.
That could be, you could mourn the childhood you never got. You could mourn losing a physical body of a person. You can mourn a pet.
You can mourn, why did I sign up for all of this?
Oh, yeah. Currently doing that. I'm mourning the life I had on the other side instead of coming here. Yeah. So there's, healing can feel like loss. Also, to touch on anybody who is going through healing process of whatever that looks like, when you lose the friends that you used to have because you've changed, and this can be from you going through mental illness struggles, this can be you going through addiction struggles and recovery, this can be just going through the day-to-day life and suddenly you've changed and you're supposed to change, right? That's what you do. That's you getting the full human experience, right?
Well, that's because, even if you stay where you're comfortable, or you step out of that box, there's 365 days. They're going to flow through whether you change or not. The question is, are you going to live the same year over and over and over for 90 years? Or are you going to choose what you want to do to make yourself happy and fulfilled every year for 90 years and say that you did what you wanted to do, what your desires were, so that choice is yours. You can live that same 1 year 90 times, or you can decide what you do with it.
Yeah, you can grieve the loss of time, thinking that,
absolutely.
Right? The loss of time. You can do that.
Absolutely.
You can do that. So, here's some self-sabotages. Okay, this is, if any of these,
I know all of these are going to hit me.
ring-a-ding-a-ding your bell. Let's see if our little bells ring, okay? Here's common ways that we stand in our own way. Waiting until something's ready. I feel ready now. I'm a fan now of doing things before I'm ready. Don't ask me why it works for me, but it does. It does.
All year, I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. All year, I'm not ready.
Setting goals so big that you don't even start. You don't even, nope, I'm just going to, whatever. Staying busy so you don't feel. Replaying old pain instead of processing it.
That's a big one.
If you're a ruminator, you sit there and ruminate. It spirals the same thing over and over instead of thinking, like, why am I responding this way? Why am I thinking this way? Talk through with a friend, talk through with someone in the group. You know, if you need a group and you're not in here, we have a group that we do this with. Believing healing means betraying who you were. That's hard.
That's a big one.
That's hard because depending on who you were, it depends on who you're talking about. Are you talking about like your inner little? Are you talking about the one you were like me as a young mom, like versus me now? Like
the troublemaker, whatever era of your life that was,
Yeah. So believing healing means betraying who we were, identifying with our wounds more than our growth.
Thanks.
Identifying with our wounds rather than our growth. It is so easy, especially at the end of this year. Like, raise your hand if the end of this year has been a shit show for you. Like, it has been hard, right? And if someone were to say, like, how was your year? And we're right here, we're going to be like, oh God, I'm so glad to see it go. But you know what? It was a really good year. It really was.
It was a good year. The end of it here, I'm like, this can fuck off. However, it is completely so motivating at the same time.
Yeah. It's for me, I wish I could go back to so many moments in this year and appreciate them even more now that they're gone. Like, we will never have another first time going to Colorado, right? We will not.
Immediately, that walking away from that face, walking out of that room, interviewing those people.
Right.
Those moments would be my number one highlight of the year.
Yeah. And they're moments that we'll never get back the same moment. We will go back and do those things, but like those moments that are like those aha life-changing moments that stick with you, they're beautiful. And so while at the end of the year, I'm like, you know what, this can fuck all the way off. Like, for real. Right. Like, it really was such a beautiful year in so many aspects. Don't think I don't have struggles too. I have so many, you guys don't even like know. Like, I just don't let them out, and no, you guys aren't the only ones struggling, but no, like, there's been, like, for me, do you want it this year to just go? I mean, if next year can be better, yeah, okay, fine, I'll settle for it. But there was a lot of wonderful things that I would want to hold on to. So we tend to stick with like the yucky parts versus like the really good parts. So we're like, life sucks, I hate it. Like, but I got to go to Colorado. That there's good things, there's great things that you've accomplished, or at least we have. Fear of disappointing others if you change. This one's huge. Huge. What if they don't love me the same and I change? Are you comfortable? Right? Are you comfortable being in this shady shit spot that you're bitching about on the inside forever? as long as they really like you and pretend to be nice and love you, like, is that worth it for you? Is it worth it for you? Or do you think that there's a chance that they may love you for who you are if you will just show who you really are? Fear of disappointing others if you change. Hey, Alex, how are you? And I'll message you back. I got your email. I've just had a shit show of things going on. But fear of disappointing others. And if you're a mom, fear of disappointing your kids, disappointing work, disappointing friends, even in here, like, oh God, what if I change that? Are they going to be mad? Well, I mean, then jump in and do it if you're going to be mad at me. Like, it's fine.
You're disappointing yourself.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
You know, like that's a huge one for me, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, perfectionist. This is calling you out. Perfectionism disguised as high standards. Do you, does this ring, ding dong? Is this ringing your bell? Like, ding dong, ding dong. If you are a perfectionist, if you've been around people who are perfectionists, you probably have these things too. Could be called high standards, but I think there's a difference in high standards and perfectionism. I mean, I think being around some people who I think have high standards is a good thing because it causes me to raise up. If you can do it authentically, if this is a real relationship of high standards, like if someone's doing better than me, I want to be next to them so I can learn and grow, not in the competition side. Does that make sense?
No matter what I can benefit from their high stand, you know what I mean? Like for personal gain other than the learning.
All right. This happens to be number 11, if anybody's keeping track. 11. Overthinking instead of taking a small step.
That would be called not going with the flow and swimming up current. I know anybody who would do that.
Overthinking instead of taking a small step. I am an overthinker just by nature. So when I started the podcast and some of the other things, I've learned to do it and then overthink afterwards because the overthinking is still going to be there. It's still going to be there. I promise. Yeah. It's just an excuse we get wrapped up in that rumination of overthinking it. And then we never do it because we're thinking about what could happen or how are we going to do it? I don't have this. How am I going to do that?
What's conversation and not knowing how it's going to go. So then you're stressed out more.
Yeah. And then you're like, never mind. I'm going to go to sleep. It's like, whatever. Comparing our behind the scenes to someone else's highlighted reel. That is hard because there are times
with all the social media.
Yeah. I mean, there are times that I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And then that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie I tell myself, right? But comparing your best day to someone else's reels is not reality. That's why I try to be very transparent and vulnerable on having shitty days and getting on without makeup and in a ponytail and in my pajama, whatever. Like, you do not see the behind the scenes, right? There is always the life behind it as well.
Social media has been really big about glorifying, people faking a great relationship on social media, but behind the scenes, it's way toxic.
Yeah. So don't compare. Quitting when progress feels slow. I don't quit, but I like to think about it. I really like to think about it a lot. Like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should quit. Maybe I shouldn't do this. This is something I say to myself all the time. And I know the answer, but when progress feels slow or you feel stagnant, you feel like, I don't think this is working. Sometimes things just happen like when they're supposed to happen. You can't have control over when things happen. You can have control on when you get off your ass to do something, right? So you have to understand that. Holding on to pain because it validates that you survived.
Don't look at me like that.
Holding on to the pain, because if you let go and you move forward, well, there's no validation that you've survived this. And I'm saying it like it's real easy. Like, I get it.
As we talked about, our nervous system knows that we survived it because it's now protecting us when it doesn't need to protect us.
Yeah.
Because it thinks it's different.
Like, bitch, I'm fine. I'm fine. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Like, this person is no. Like, I'm not going to let him do that. Like, let me have a chance here, right?
Yeah.
Let me have a chance. Let me try to do it on my own. I'm a big girl, I swear. Like, I'm an adult. Like, why do we have to argue with our nervous systems on being a fucking adult? Like, why? I'm an adult. I can do it. I know it. So dumb. It's so dumb. It really is.
It is, but it's how we're wired, you know?
Yeah. Like, go away. Leave me alone. I'm an adult. I'm a big girl. I can do it. Like, you can do it. Like, there's so much more we're capable of, but our nervous system is like, are you sure about that? You know what happened last 12 times?
Mommy keeps touching me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Saying, this is just how I am. That
one for years.
Drives me bonkers. This is just how I am. It's not just how you are. It's either you have changed and become the person and worked really hard to become the person that you are, or it's just who you are because it's everything that you learned from patterns and being preconditioned to things. Like there's and then there's that in between of trying to grow, right? It's not just who you are. It's not just how that family is. It's not. Like a family can have, that whole family has blue eyes, but not that whole family's assholes. That's just who they are. It's not just who they are. It's because no one's chosen to step up and change things.
Yeah, and that's like in my family, you know, it's the hardest in this, the hardest in that, you know, like it's the hardest in luck. You know, why is it that every single, like my dad, my brother, myself, like we all are not seen no matter where we work, what we're doing, how well we excel. Like we don't, you know what I mean? Like, and then when we say something, we're causing an issue and then we get in trouble, if not fired or whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, like my whole life, like my whole job history looks like that. So it's the hardest in luck. You know what I mean? Like, no, there's obviously a pattern here.
Yeah.
What is it? Because I'm tired of this, you know?
Yeah. Alex said, everyone's mad at me. I'm going to figure out why without asking any questions to anyone about this. Yes. And that right there on thinking people are mad, that really, I used to do this a lot. And I think once you do it, I think you always struggle with it. It's because we were conditioned at such a young age to be a certain way, or we weren't going to get what we needed, loved, whatever that's called. And so we are so sensitive to recognizing that energy that we just assume like they're mad at me. And it might not be that they're mad. Maybe they had a bad day at work themselves and they just don't want to talk to you. But I would tell you they're mad at me and now they don't want to be friends with me. And they're probably regretting ever even meeting me. In fact, now I should just go and, jump off a cliff.
Right.
Make all of the story up and really if we would just ask a question like, did I do something? But then I'm not going to ask because I already know I didn't. But did I? I must have looked wrong. Maybe that extra word in the text really pissed him off, whatever.
Right.
I get that so much. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Waiting for motivation instead of working on building habits. So waiting on motivation. You're just waiting on somebody come and motivate me.
I don't know anybody to do that either.
I'm just waiting for someone to motivate me. Could you motivate me so I could do something? Like it's that is
all these like from my year. I was like, watch, every single one of them are gonna hit me right in the gut.
Hey, Michael. Not asking for help. I don't know anybody like this at all. Not asking for help.
Check on that throat chakra right there.
I'm not asking for help. This is a form of self-sabotage, not asking for help. Because you're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to decide, I'm just not going to do it. And then you just kind of spiral, right? You just kind of spiral. When you need help, ask for help or surround yourself with people that will support you in your spiraling, right? Like sometimes Earl will be like, well, do you want me to help? And I'm like,
like, what can I do to help? Like,
since you asked
what you need, and I will do.
I'm like, do you have 10? Do you have 20 minutes to spare for me?
Yeah, right.
Oh, it's so hard. It is so hard. That's literally how they go, can you? Yeah. I'm dying asking this.
That or it's a cryptic message that if you don't read past the words, then it's going to go right over your head. But there's certain meanings behind certain texts, and I'm like, what's going on? Wait a minute. Nope.
And I don't even know that I'm putting them that way. So then I'm like, if I'm like, I'm okay. Oh, I can't put I'm okay because she thinks that like, I'm okay.
Right.
Yeah. Punishing ourselves for setbacks. Do you know setbacks are not a bad thing? Setbacks are a detour, right? We talked about GPS doesn't ever go, oh my God, they made me go a different direction. Like, why don't they just go the original way? Like GPS just reroutes and calls it a day and shows you the right route, the new route, right? That's how we need to work. And it's really hard to do that because we're always attached to an outcome, no matter what that looks like. We just want to be attached because we want to know. There's safety in knowing, right? But then that's control. There's safety in controlling and knowing what's going to happen. So if you can be more like the GPS and just reroute, life would be better.
And again, the nervous system kicks in there too to, just not be like the GPS, and whine and everything else to get there.
Yeah. Yep. And then staying stuck because letting go feels like I'm losing control. Letting go can look like what? It can look like forgiving. It can look like moving forward. It can look like loss because you're walking away from friends or relationships. It could look like a lot of things, but staying stuck because when you let go, it feels like you're out of control.
It can also look like taking something solid to a TV in your driveway as well.
It could. This is true. This is true. It's true. It's true. It's true. Some of us don't stay stuck because we don't want to heal. We stay stuck because the pain is familiar, because pain gives us our identity, because pain made sense of what happened. You feel like if you let go of the pain, it excuses what happened. If something bad happened to you and that's where you're at right now, it doesn't excuse it, right? It allows you to quit letting them control you. That forgiveness, that move out, that move forward, that push aside so you can try to step forward a little bit is you stopping allowing it to control you, right? It's not negating any of the negative things that happened. We stay stuck because pain became familiar. Pain gave us our identity, and because pain made sense of what happened. Letting go of this can feel like invalidating your past. I was stuck in this and hurt for years. This is what I thought, years. This is what it was. And then suddenly it's not. It feels like you've been living a lie.
Okay. I lived for 42 years, and this year finally was the year that I saw that. And I'm like, man, yeah. We're going to change this going forward.
It can feel like you're minimizing what you survived. Don't get me wrong. If you've survived any of the shit that life has thrown at you, it is not minimal, right? You're here to make a difference. You may feel like you're being minimized, like the stuff that happened, it was insignificant, right? And that is not at all what it is meant to do, right? It can feel like you're losing the version of you that endured it all. Mm-hmm. You're losing that person that went through all that pain, that wasn't as strong as you are now, that didn't see things, that now understands how in depth that went into hurting you, whether it's grief or whatever's happened. You're moving forward. It can feel like you're betraying that person.
Well, and also for me on that, like in my addiction and living on the streets and surviving, just to find the next meal, to find a roof over your head or whatever, I thought that was strong because I had survived the trap houses, the abandoned houses we were squatting in, things like that. So I considered that my strength because, well, if I can get through that, I can get through anything.
Right.
Even though that was the weakest point in my life. So for me, it was realizing that I had to let go of that past strength to actually be able to step into the strength, true strength, of what I'm walking today.
Yeah.
So that was a big one for me. Was I felt like what I believed to be strength and not knowing my true strength, because that possibility is up to me. It depends on where I take it, but at the same time, that's what I held on to.
Right.
As my strength, because I still had no self-image, no self-worth, nothing, coming out of that. So that was a real big one for me to sit down and reflect on.
That's huge. Because losing that version, when I think about it, like the ways that my brain processes what that feels like, it is like a rubber band that's just being stretched, like an old rubber band. And when you pull it, it's just stretched. It's kind of like when you pull chicken apart and there's the like fascia and all the it's like, it's hard. It's hard to pull away, and there's bits and pieces that rip and it hurts, but you can do it. There is beauty on the other side. And it's not a once done, always done thing. Like it's not, you're continuously working on doing that. So it's huge. You can honor the hurt without living inside the hurt forever. You can honor it. You can honor yourself, and I won't say honor the hurt that you received, but honor that person. You can honor that person, and you can be grateful for the person that you were because you survived it. So, healing doesn't erase the story. It releases the grip the story has had on your present, right? And that's when you let go. If it's people that have hurt you, when you let go of the pain associated with that person, you release the stronghold they have of controlling you, controlling your subconscious, you constantly wanting to find approval or, a certain thing from that person. So if that's what you're struggling with, that's a huge thing. It's not releasing what they did and like forgiving it and being like, oh, it's all good, nothing happened. That's not what it is. It's I am no longer allowing you to control me anymore. Like what I went through, well, I'm sick of my inner person being like, oh, look, it's going to happen again. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm an adult. We're grown-ups. Yeah. We're grown-ups around here. We get to make our own choices because I'm an adult. But it doesn't erase the story. It just releases the grip on it. Okay. You're allowed to put the pain down, even if it once and for all this time was what kept you alive.
That's a big one too for me.
Yeah. You're allowed to put it down, even if it's what kept you alive for a long time. Sometimes the struggle, sometimes the hate, sometimes the anger, sometimes the pain, it keeps you going, not in a good way. You live for it because it's what you know, and it keeps you going. You don't have to hold on to it anymore.
That was the first 38 years of my life.
What if you don't know how to put it all down? It's not it's not something that you're going to be able to do all of it at once, at least in my opinion, right? I'm not any expert on it, but understanding some of the things that have happened to you, that when you let go of it, it is letting go of the control that it has over you.
I know for me, like the situation in my childhood, seeing that person, like I said, as a person,
right?
You know, was like, okay, well, I know his father, or whoever in the family, that they did the same thing and it was done to them, therefore they don't know any better. Like they're stuck in that pattern, and then they pass it down. So me seeing them as a human, I'm able to drop some, not all of the pain, but a good portion of that pain down, because I can say, well, I mean, they endured the same thing. Maybe worse, maybe less, but it's still being passed down. Therefore, it doesn't excuse it, because they had every choice to change it. But
doesn't it make it not so personal?
Yes.
When you see it that way, it's not because you're not worthy. It's because, well, they didn't decide to step out and do the healing. They just want to carry it on. It makes it less personal whenever you do that.
Yeah. And then it's like, well, if they didn't choose to change it, maybe they're not there in the point of their life to even look at it, reflect on it, feel it, like, you know what I mean? So then it's like, well, I've been there too. I understand why they don't change it. It's that familiarity again, and it's that for me was being able to find that link, with whatever my situation was, whether it wasn't with people, but still to be able to kind of look at the whole picture and then kind of reflect and break it down to where I can lay, even if it's the tiniest piece of pain, that's still something I'm not carrying.
Yeah. And us saying put it down does not mean that you're not going to go places. I'm going to use Rebel. You're not going to go places and be triggered as all get out, right? It is you making a conscious choice of, this is not going to control me anymore. So if I don't know, if I'm going to do something that typically would bother me, I need to be aware that this is a trigger within myself, that typically I wouldn't do this or I would respond this way. And you being very self-aware. It's not going to go away overnight, especially some of the things that some of us have experienced. Some of it is not easy, right, to let go of and just walk away from. But yeah, it does. Being aware of how you're feeling, it takes time. But if you can consciously understand, this is what anger I'm holding, this is what anxiety I'm holding, and that going forward, it's not that way, but you're still having this feeling that's very heavy, right? You being aware of, okay, I feel this really heavy feeling and I feel like this is what's happening, but it's not, right? We're an adult. Like, that's what I keep saying. Right. Because our inner child sometimes acts like a child. Like I have it sometimes, and it's, you are protecting you now, right? You're little, all those things that happened and things like that. You're not going to let that happen again, right? You're protecting fiercely, and it's not something that you're going to accept anymore. Right.
And so also being that, being open to just have the awareness of the trigger. Mm-hmm. Because I know when I get around a certain person, if they come at me sideways, my mouth is just going to fly off the handle. But yet within my healing, now I can choose to fly off the handle, which is the same response that they might have taught me, or within that structure of however that connection was made, that it, you know what I mean, that it's still continuing that pattern, but at the same time, it's with that awareness, it's like you could tell yourself on the way over to that person's house, okay, if they come at me sideways, we're going to take a step back. We're going to take a breath. And we're going to calmly set our boundary. You know what I mean? Like, does it always happen that way? You can rehearse it 100,000 times in the car on the way.
Yeah.
But they pop off sideways and you're tired of them controlling you at that point because you react that way. They know you react that way. So if you react different and not in the way that they know, that freaks them out. Yeah. Like if they come at me sideways and I'm like, okay, if that's how you feel, turn around, walk off.
Yeah.
Like I don't even have to give a response. Silence is a response.
Yes. And again, just because we're saying this doesn't mean this is how it always goes, right? It is a process. Right. It is a process. So put the pain down, even though it probably is what kept you alive sometimes, right? Some people are just on it and just will stay angry and stay and keep that going and festering and all that. Not you, call 911, just saying. I don't know what that means, but
I think the explosive response on to not have to call 911 with my response, you know what I mean?
I mean, and I've been that way. I mean, there are certain people that will bring that part out in me, and it's always the people who have hurt me the worst. You will get the worst part of me if I allow it. Like, it just is very true. It's very true. All right. So here are some ways that you can stick to change, right? That's what we were talking about. Like, how can you decide, new year, new me, I'm going to be a whole different person overnight? And that's not how that works, silly. So,
I heard something very interesting, that instead of the new year, new me, which is referring to reinvention.
Yeah.
Why not filter old me, become who I am?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I heard that, because I kept thinking, okay, this year I'm going to focus on this as my resolution, even though I don't do resolutions, but like, this is my main focus. I want to keep for the year,
right?
And really dive into it. Now, are other things going to pop up? Yes.
Right.
But this is my main focus. But then I heard that and I was like, that's integration, not reinvention.
Yeah.
So
come up with like a theme for your year or something.
You want, instead of, so my perspective changed on, it's really not the new year, new you, because you're actually knocking all this stuff off, letting that baggage go to become whatever it is without those patterns, without that baggage. And that's whatever you choose to make it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that idea. I like the idea of a theme too, because it's broad. So it's not like you have to have very specifics. You know, it could be so varied, like live my life to the fullest. And that means when I'm questioning, like if I need to do, here I have buzzing in my ear, when I'm questioning, whenever, I can't, I hear you. Anytime I'm thinking like, well, I don't want to do that. I don't know what to do. Are you living your life to the fullest of what you want to do? Then it always takes you back to that theme or that, like, you know, umbrella for everything. Right. Shift from a resolution to a new practice. Mm-hmm. Say that it's a new practice. Instead of saying, I will change, say, I am practicing. I am practicing this, because that is what you're doing.
I was going to say that's also reinvention into integration.
Yeah. I'm practicing living my best life. I am practicing being human. I am practicing. That's what we're doing. We're practicing. Right. Practicing allows for imperfection, right? It allows for imperfection. In fact, practicing, it encourages imperfection, because then you can finalize and like detail what is yours in the way that you would deem as being what you want.
Right.
If your nervous system can't handle overload, ask what's the one change that would support everything else.
It's a good one.
So if your nervous system can't handle overload, ask what's one change that would support everything else. What's one change with you that would support everything else?
That's kind of like in life coaching when they tell you to, you know, like take one step a day to what your dream is. And that doesn't mean, you know, spend money. That doesn't mean, you know, like go out and get, you know, an architect to, you know, do the blueprints of what you want, you know, that dream home or whatever. It's something as simple as looking you know, like different companies up of what you may need to fulfill that dream. It's not calling anybody. It's not, you know, putting emails together. You know what I mean? It's literally just taking that one step. What's one step you can do a day to move into what you're looking for, what your dreams are.
Notice we're not saying 10. I mean, you can do more. If you want to do more, that's fine. But build a minimum commitment, not your best day version and not your worst day version. Okay. So example would be 2 minutes instead of 30. Hey, Laura. 2 minutes instead of 30. Can you commit to 2 minutes instead of 30 minutes a day to do something, to start it? 2 minutes a day. Do you need a partner in that? Right? Do we need a partner? Like, can you please ask me if I've done that? Do we need a partner? Do we need to set an alarm on our phone? What do we need to do? 1 glass of water instead of 10. Right? You can do 1 glass of water. Yes, you can. 1 honest boundary instead of a full overhaul. When you do the full overhauls, that's when, right,
when
it goes.
You burn bridges. Let me tell you, that's when you burn bridges.
It's true. Consistency beats intensity. You can create a repair plan. You don't need to restart. You need to return. Okay. Don't miss twice in a row. That needs to be your goal. Right? So do you have an accountability partner? Okay. Don't miss twice in a row. Miss today. The next action is gentle repair. It's not punishment. It's not punishment. You're practicing. You're practicing. Anybody who expects you to be perfect, you're practicing. Just like they are. Practicing. They're practicing being perfect, but you're just practicing. Because I'm not perfect by any means. All right. So here are some questions for you to ask yourself. Where am I standing in my own way? Where are you standing in your own way? What pain am I afraid to let go of? What would I change if I trusted myself more than I trust my fear?
Oh, God.
This next year doesn't ask you to become new, right? Nothing new. It asks you just to become honest. Honest about what hurts, honest about what you're ready to release, and honest about the life that you're tired of postponing. You do not need to push. You do not need to punish. You just need to take one step, and then you keep returning, right? The return looks like accountability partner. Don't miss 2 things in a row, right? If you say you're going to do something 2 minutes a day, then get an accountability partner. Don't miss 2 minutes, 2 days in a row. If you do, you return. You don't end it. You don't say, well, I already fucked that up, so I guess this is next year. Like, right? That's how trust is built, right? Even within yourself. When you start seeing progress, that's when you start trusting yourself more, okay? So we're not doing new year, new you, right? We're doing small baby steps. We're doing the return. We're doing accountability partners. We're doing themes for the year. What is the theme for your year?
Integration.
Integration. Integration. Yeah, if we need accountability partners, we need to pair everybody up if that's something we need. Integration is Rebels. Mine, I don't know. I keep thinking living the best life.
Because that one's really going to be mine.
Going to the gym. Well, I'm going to do that. So that would be good if we could do that. Yeah. And we could have other people do that too. Because that is one of my top things. Because it's like, what one thing would help everything else? It's that for me.
Yeah.
It's that. It's that. Continuing on what I've been doing, but do more. Getting your own place again. Okay. Movement, whatever movement looks like. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just today taped a thing to my desk that's like small movements, because the back of my legs from like my butt to my knee, those muscles are, what's the word? They don't activate easy because of some of the things I have. And so there are literally like 10 things you can do while sitting at your desk to activate those muscles. And I taped it to my desk. That way it's like, when I'm bored, oh yeah, okay. So, I mean, no one knows I'm doing it. I'm literally, but it's like, I have it there because out of sight is out of mind for me.
Yep. That's why I need the accountability partner on making sure that I stay on the gym for my own health, because it was 2,300 days since the last time I checked in. So yeah, there's a little issue there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, accountability, what does that look like? What do we need to do? Think about that. Because I mean, there's multiple ones of us. You may need those. Yeah. So that muscle, I say calcified. I don't know what the right word is, but they just don't activate themselves. I have to do extra and above and beyond to get them to activate. So it was like today I was sitting in the chair and one of them's a pelvic tilt, and I'm in there with Ben and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, just sitting in my chair. Don't mind me. So get it. Yeah, definitely. And those do help. I have one literally under my desk right here. I use it every day.
Yeah. I was going to say taping those exercises to your desk is just the same as the vibration plate under your desk.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the things are so simple, but then you do them and then you're like, wait, why am I out of breath? And it's like, you don't even know. Like one of them is you're sitting at your desk and your feet are down on the ground and you're pulling your heels towards you. Like your feet are on the ground and you pull your heels towards you, like your legs and everything. You don't move, but you just pull your heels towards you, like that movement. And you feel so you do that. And then what was another one? Another one is pressing your feet flat down like you're going to stand up, but you don't stand. And so you do several sets of those and you're like, man, what am I doing? But you're working the biggest muscle. Like that is your biggest muscle in your body. And so, you do those things. So whether it be just sitting there like at the desk and Rebel saying to me, are you doing it today right now? You better stop and do it. Right. If we need accountability, we need accountability, right? People are more likely to do the things that they want to do if someone's holding them accountable.
Yeah. And mine's, for the hypermobility mainly.
And that's actually one of them because I looked up what is the best for and typed in all those things. And it was like, this is great because you're not hyperextending. You're not lifting heavy weights. All you're doing is strengthening your muscle. That's it. And
sitting the whole time. Yeah.
Right. And then you get like, well, if you're sitting on your ass, just do it. Why is it so hard to do it? You're just sitting there. Like, why don't you do it all damn day? Like legit, like I'm just sitting there. I'm not doing anything else other than bitching about time to go by. And but it's like, why don't you just do it? So yeah. You need a reminder. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I have, guys. Make themes, make things broad. That way you don't fail. When you fail, it's because things are too high of a thing. Don't say every day for the next year, for an hour a day, I am going to go to the gym every day, no matter what. And what happens is as soon as you don't do it, then you feel like you failed. And then you just stop.
Yep.
What kind of theme for you? You're not good at that. What is something that you're wanting to do? What is something, just some of the things you're wanting to do this next year?
Mine are not really like physical things other than like the gym. Mine are more like inner things.
Yeah.
Healing things. Spiritual.
Right.
Side of things. You know what I mean?
Right. Stephanie, maybe it's to expand your physical health. What's it called? I would say regime.
I can have a guest. Come on.
Vibration plate. Yeah. So do vibration plate for 10 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day, 2 minutes a day, 2 minutes. 10 minutes is a long time on it. That's why it's under my desk. Because you're on there and you're like, this is boring. I don't know what to do unless I'm talking to someone.
I was going to say that, or it's in the living room and you're sitting on it. And
yep.
You're just sitting there chit-chatting.
Yeah. So pick, something broad and then start with that. Stephanie, if you're wanting to do vibration plate, start with like 2 minutes. 2 minutes a day or something.
Make it obtainable.
Yeah, for sure. Because then once you've done it, you're like, yes, I've done it. I can do it again. And then if you miss, it's...
Yeah, the next day, it's like, well, that wasn't too bad yesterday. I put more expectation, like more anxiety and everything into it. And that 2 minutes really wasn't bad yesterday. Let's do it again. And then you're like, well, let's make 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You start adding that time back. Next thing you know, you'll be at 10 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Just do that. Start small. If you miss 2 days, and like no more than 2, right? And then that means you restart. You don't quit. Hey, Tinkerbell. So you don't quit, you return, right?
Right.
You return. All right, guys. I said that was going to be a short class, and it's the longest one we've done in a long time. Every time I say that, it's been like 30 minutes.
It's every time we get on here.
True. That's true. All right, guys. Have a beautiful evening. I will try to get this uploaded to YouTube for you guys in the next day so you can go back to it. Resolutions. If you have a resolution, have the resolution be to not have just one teeny tiny one, right? Have a broad spectrum so you can change. You can have room for mistakes.
And also letting go of some of that pain and everything else still opens up for new things to come in. Yeah. So don't forget that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially if you're setting that resolution going into it, because you got to release something to be able to bring in the new.
True.
Because if you hold on to it, like if you got a bucket and it's overflowing and you want to put more stuff in it, where's it going to go?
Exactly. Your Easter eggs will fall out of the Easter basket. There's no room for more Easter eggs.
Right.
Okay. Let some stuff go. Even if it's something you once lived for because it kept you going.
Yes.
Let it go. Yep. True. True story. All right, guys. Love you. Love you. I'll try to get this out and some stuffs for you. We will see you, Nadine, tomorrow. Is tomorrow good? Okay, so tomorrow Nadine will be on, and then I'll have the schedule for the support group coming. I'll have it after Wednesday, a final day on that. So, all right, guys, have a beautiful night. See you tomorrow.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.